So every June 11th in the East, which is the energy we receive from the which is the energy we receive automatically without trying. So every June 11th, which is opposite 12/11. 12/11, as I told you before, was the axis of Orion to Ophiuchus. This is very close to it. Very close to it. It's almost like it's flipped. Because in 12/11, Ophiuchus is rising. Whereas in 6/11 now, Orion is about to rise. But with Orion, you have the Pleiades, and you have this, and you have Auriga. Nothing past it. But what I find very interesting is that going towards Rama, here you have the peacock along this axis, high just over the horizon. Mind you, this is all for seafarers. This is the Phoenicians who can see in the ocean, and they see this stuff from horizon to horizon. They have the peacock right here going to the south, which is his mount, which is Skanda's mount. Now, and you also have the Eridanus River, which is another serpent. Notice it kind of goes parallel. It kind of goes parallel. They can see this very, very easily in the sky from the waters of transatlantic or transpacific travels. But what I find most interesting is that the reason why the peacock, I think, is his mount is because even though he's over here, he's rising, the peacock is actually close to this point here. Now, mind you, this is India. That again, from India and Sri Lanka specifically, you have this alignment where Auriga is rising, Muruga is rising with the peacock over here, but right here, directly south, and sitting right on the horizon, touching the horizon, which is very rare. You have what this book, SCP, which is the South Celestial Pole. That is directly south. This is the fulcrum of the Earth spinning right here. This is the fulcrum, because on the other side, you have the North Celestial Pole, which is right on Polaris. I find this very fascinating, where the peacock revolves around the South Celestial Pole. But the peacock is the largest of the animals down here that orbit the South Celestial Pole from India's perspective. And you can see this from India's perspective, which I find that very fascinating. And it would never move. It would never move, except through the precession of the ages. In fact, let's see how it would move. Markings. Precession circles. Here we go. Let's see what the precession circle is. So here's the precession circle. So as of right now, the peacock goes around this celestial pole. But as the celestial pole moves across the ages, the peacock acts differently. It would more towards this way. The turning goes this way. But here, it does spin like this, which is fascinating. This is the mount of Muruga. So this here is Muruga. And remember, this is the world. Auriga is also the world, which Atlas holds. Atl, the ATL, Atlantic. The Atlantic, which symbolically, from a colonial standpoint, the Atlas, the Atl, the Atlantic, holds up the golden child, Auriga. Colonialism, from the Greek viewpoint, because Phoenicians knew of the North American continent, the Atl, the Atlas, the Atl, the Atlantic, holds up Auriga, holds up Muruga, Kartikeya, holds up Capricorn, holds up the one holding the goat. Auriga is the one holding the goat of Capricorn. As this is the Capricorn, as this is the land of Capricorn. This is the land of Aquarius, South America. Up here is the land of Capricorn, the goat. Now, what a coincidence this is, if you believe in coincidences. So from the South Celestial Pole, looking this way, you have Auriga holding the goat. Okay, that's a symbol. That's the symbolism here. The shepherd holding the goat, held up by Orion, which I told you before. This is Atlas. This is Atlas. And then you have the rabbit, but then you also have the columba bird. Columba is where we get Columbia from, the goddess Columbia, the goddess of America. Because Colum is where Columbus got his last name. He wasn't born Columbus. He took that name after coming to America. Statue of Liberty and the infamous District of Columbia. This is just a retelling of Muruga, changing it from masculine to feminine so that it doesn't become a direction, it becomes a power by those outside of knowing, by the public. Because the elites know what this is. They know Columbia is not a feminine god. They know the Statue of Liberty is not a feminine icon. It is Muruga. They come from this land. They want that masculine, straightforward thinking to plow through any obstacle. Money is feminine, not this symbolism. But what they did here was they took this and created a focus for us. A whole mindset for the public to consume and to believe in back in the 1940s. Because this song was only created around 1938. Didn't exist before that.
And now we take great pleasure in presenting to you the star of our program, Miss Kate Smith.
Hello, everybody. It is my happy privilege to introduce a new song, God Bless America.
Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who still don't believe me. That from the perspective of the Phoenicians, and thus the Greeks, following on to all of Europe, where they see the Columba bird from the Atlantic going to America, and that America is Murga, or Kartikeya, or Skanda. It doesn't sound possible.
That doesn't sound possible. Huh. Let me show you something.
From the colonial perspective, this ocean is holding up the promised land, the new world, holding up the land of Capricorn. Alchemically, this is the land of Capricorn. And over here, alchemically, this is the land of Aquarius, both ruled by Saturn. This is the Capricorn is the goat, just as Auriga is holding the goat. The shepherds are holding this, the goat, because this is America. This is Amaru. This is the feathered serpent. This is also, in the Masonic sense, in the book The Hiram Key by two Masons. They say that in the time of the Essenes, the people of Jesus, they have this legend about this land called La America. So that's another indication of the phonetic invocation. Now, again, we are told two different stories. We're told two different stories in this world. And these two sides are only exposed to their information. They're only exposed to their information. One side sees positive, one side sees negative. Everyone's not the same. Some people are primed to be positive and to be negative. But still, that question cannot be answered because we're never told the whole thing. This country was made by people and tell you're part of it when you're not. I've been on both sides of that question. I was on the questioner's side, and I was on the paneler's side, where I defended America. Now, that question can never be answered unless you, finding more information, look within. You never rely on everything that you're told. You have to filter everything and then have an answer come from within you. And only experience can do that. That's Saturn's temperament. Until you reach that point, you're just doing Mercury. You're just experiencing. Whether it be you're for or against, you're just experiencing. Because that's the maze. That's the maze. There is a way out, but that is the maze that we're all stuck in. This is what I'm trying to show you.